Now, billionaires have many obsessions. Supercars, ice baths, exotic animals, you name it, and billionaires usually have it. But off late, they seem to have a new obsession: bunkers. The top 1% are building bunkers. Mark Zuckerberg is constructing one in Hawaii, and it's worth $270 million, $270 million. It's almost like a status symbol now. But why do the super rich need bunkers? Are they trying to survive a war? Maybe another pandemic? Or an apocalypse? Do they know something that we do not? Our next report tells you.
Blast-resistant doors, equipped with its own food and energy supplies. This is a 5,000 square foot shelter located underground in Hawaii. The price tag of the project is $270 million. If you want to survive an apocalypse, this is the place to be. Who does this belong to? Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. The billionaire is building a bunker, and he isn't the only one. Former PayPal CEO Peter Thiel tried to build one in New Zealand. Bill Gates has plenty of underground security areas, apparently one under each of his homes. Of course, these are the higher-end ones, but you could get yourself a basic one for $500,000. It's almost like buying an expensive car. And for billionaires, it's a good way to use some loose change. But where are they building them? Apparently all over the world. But a popular choice seems to be New Zealand. It's attributed to its secluded location, which brings us to the boom in the companies building these survival shelters. Some of them are just basic shelters. They are underground, they have all the essentials, you can survive there for a few weeks. But a handful of them go a step further, like this one project that includes an island fortress. This is not just a bunker. The entire island is like a fort, with an inflammable moat. Basically, if you try to step foot on the island, it will burn down. But you will be perfectly safe inside the underground bunker. Sounds perfect for a zombie apocalypse. But why are the super rich building bunkers? What are they so scared of? In the last 5 years, the world has survived a lot. A global pandemic, 2 wars, climate change. Some of these bunkers have registered nurses, a collection of drugs, decontamination booths, medical supplies. One even has a full-fledged operating table. Basically, you can survive anything in there. It's almost like modern-day Noah's Ark. If you are in the bunker, you are likely to survive almost all catastrophes. But it's not for everyone. It's only for the chosen few. And here, Noah is not making the choice. The world's super rich are making it for themselves. But beneath all these underground bunkers lies a dark truth. It's that death is truly the great equalizer. And the super rich, just like us, fear it too. They cannot buy their way out of it, even with these underground bunkers and fortresses. But that hasn't stopped them from trying.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation. To the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans here in the Western Hemisphere, and to the rest scattered abroad throughout the 4 corners of the earth who look like the other nations, but through the patrilineal lineage go back to the Hebrew Israelites. Your fortified bunkers won't save you. Your fortified bunkers won't save you. Okay, and the video that was just played was of a, scenario where these billionaires, have, put all their money, well, not all their money, but a portion of their money into these bunkers that's supposed to be, fortified and equipped with the best, survival gears and gadgets and technologies. You seen they have like a place where you can have, people that come in to be quarantined, and they have, nurses on hands, and they have, water and food that could last for weeks. And one of them even had a moat that when you come, it sets on fire and the top surface collapse, okay? All that fortification won't save you and won't hide you from the Most High, okay? because Edom thinks somehow that he's going to ride this out and then he's going to resurface or reemerge and then build his cities up again. Okay, and we're going to get that in scripture. Now, this is an article that says, billionaires survivalists bunkers go absolutely bonkers with fiery moats and water cannons. So they think they getting ready to prepare themselves for the, for the worst. So when people try to come, get them, they're going to have this fortified bunker that's going to keep people out. But they're going to be sadly mistaken once Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai send those hunters, okay? There's nothing they can do. There's nowhere that they can hide, okay? Now this says, amid World War III, fears apocalypse, fearing moguls are investing millions in survival strategies, including rotating fireplaces out of Indiana Jones and heightened tactical systems, okay? So you see, not only did they have beefed up their fortified bunkers, but they are putting it in places that's secluded. Like in the video it says, most of them have their bunkers in New Zealand, okay? So they're looking for remote places that's going to be hard to be found when all hell breaks out, okay? But there's no way they can hide from the Most High, okay? Once that judgment comes for them, it's coming. They just being preserved for that time, okay? They're going to go into captivity. There's no way about it. They can't hide. They can't run. They can't avoid this judgment. We're going to get it, all right? Now it says, on the heels of Sam Esmail apocalyptic thriller Leave the World Behind, in December, news reports that Mark Zuckerberg is constructing a 5,000 square foot bunker under his ranch on the island of Kai, and the business of fortified shelters is booming. Right, so they believe they're going to be able to, ride this out, and they're going to reemerge as some type of victorious last man standing type of, match, okay? But they not. When they come out, they going straight into captivity. They going straight into slavery. Thus saith Yahweh. Adding more fuel to the flames, escalating armed conflict around the globe, and closer to home, the ongoing onslaught of mass shootings and increasingly fractious political landscape leading up to the presidential election on November 5th. Right, and they all are orchestrating this. So this is, showing you that something could happen leading up into that election or shortly after, okay? So they getting all they, ducks in order because they know, that the signs are here, okay? Jacob's trouble is right around the corner, and they trying to prepare themselves for it to the best of their abilities, or so they believe, okay? By getting these bunkers, putting them in secluded areas of the world, fortify them, and having supplies on end, okay? They're going to get it, though. They're not going to be able to hide. So we're going to read probably one more paragraph before we jump into some scriptures. It says, the 1%ers who can afford to pull out all the stops for self-preservation are doing so more than ever, often in a fashion that goes way beyond the submerged. Corrugated metal units seen on reality shows like Nat Geo's Doomsday Prepper. Right, and they think they're going to be able to prep their way out of this, but they're not. They're just being preserved, okay? That's all they're doing is being preserved. Now let's go and get a few scriptures. All right, this is the book of Malachi 1 and 4. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished. Right, and when you go into that word impoverished, what does one of the words mean? Or definition, should I say? Let's look it up and see. Okay, it says to beat down, shatter, to beat down, shatter, to beat down. Okay, so they know, they're going to get beat down, all right? They say, so what? It says why? It says, whereas Edom says we are impoverished, beat down, but see, they know they're going to be defeated, but their mindset is what? But we will return and build the desolate places, right? Because they know through this, Jacob's trouble, through this orchestrated chaos, that a lot of these cities are going to be beat down. Their, businesses are going to be destroyed. But what are their mindset? It says what? That they should return and build the desolate places, okay? those are the places that's going to get hit by the, nukes, the missiles, the ICBM missiles. But they believe that they're going to be able to reemerge out of these bunkers and build it all over again. But what does it say? Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. So even if they do build, which they're not, how they building right now, but Yahweh is going to throw down with these missiles. So, this is just showing you that they're not going to be able to come back. All right. They're not going to be able to build no more, no matter how they try to preserve themselves in these fortified bunkers and try to come back. They're not coming back. OK, but as of right now, they trying to build because why? In the Renaissance period, that's when they started rebuilding, and whitewashing a lot of our, photos with theirs, and they rebuilding their desolate, places, so they rebuilding Rome because they are those Romans coming back. Okay. You see a lot of the infrastructures that's, built after Rome, like the columns, like in the monuments, like that Abraham Lincoln monument. And you just see America is just Rome all over again. But Yahweh, he's going to destroy this place, okay? Now it says, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. This is speaking of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the Caucasian, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. Right. So they think they're going to build again, or so they believe. So why? They trying to go in these fortified bunkers to ride the wave out. So once all hell breaks loose and they think it's going to be over, they can reemerge as, the last man standing, the 1%ers. But the Most High has a different plan for that, okay? Because, he's allowing them to be preserved for that day. So when they go and get, captured, they're going to go straight into slavery. Now this is Psalms 149 and 7. It says, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Right. So these individuals that's building these bunkers, they don't know, they actually preserving themselves to go into captivity, go into slavery. Little do they know, they just preserving themselves. Okay. That's all. All right. And the ones that's here in America, they through already. But these ones like Mark Zuckerberg, that's, building his bunker out there in Hawaii and New Zealand and others like him, they just preserving themselves for that first batch of slaves that's going into captivity. All right. It says to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all the saints, praise ye Yahweh. Right. And that's the judgment they're going to get. Okay. Let's go there. Revelation 13 and 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Just like their forefathers led our forefathers into captivity, they going into captivity, okay? Thus saith Yahweh. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, okay? And a lot of them going to be put away with the sword, okay? This is biblical prophecy. It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints, okay? We just read that in Psalms 149, okay? We taking them into slavery, all right? And if they resist, they're going to get put away with the sword, all right? Simply as that, okay? And Yahweh Shai, he's coming to lead the charge, all right? And he's going to send his angels, to go hunt them out. And some of us may, take part of that hunting, all right? Jeremiah 16 and verse 16. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. Right? So he has his servants, fishing for the elect right now. All right? But there's going to come a time when he turns off the fishing and then turn on the hunting. All right? It says, and after. So after he has sealed the number and, Jacob trouble comes and, we get saved out of it and then we get beamed up into the chariots and come back down. We're going to go do some hunting along with the angels, all right? It says, And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks, which is those bunkers, okay? So we coming to take their nobles and their kings and put them in feathers, take them into slavery, take them into captivity, all right? They're not going to be able to hide. They're not going to be able to fortify their, bunker or whatever it is you want to call it and try to avoid judgment. No, they're going to get it. They can't hide from the Most High. He knows where they are, okay? And he's going to show the hunters where to go and to get them, all right? Only thing they're doing is preserving themselves for captivity and slavery, because a lot of, the Edomites here in America, along with the other nations, is going to perish through judgment, okay? So how are they going to come back? Through those that are outside of America, all right? So they're being preserved, okay, for judgment. They're going to build up the waste cities, okay? They're going to do a lot of cleaning up, unalive bodies from the war, okay? So they're going to have a lot of work to do in the kingdom, man. So it says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, all right? And those hunters are coming to get these elites, these 1%ers, all right? It says, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face. It's verse 17. Neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. So they can't escape the judgment, man. They just using their money, which was given to them to preserve them for that judgment that's coming, okay? That's what? They going into captivity, into slavery. And they're going to be, ruled over rigorous with that rod of iron, all right? This is Luke 8. Luke, not Mark, 8 and verse 17. Yahweh Shah speaking, for nothing is secret, so they can't hide, it's going to be revealed. It says that should not be made manifest. They're going to be revealed exactly where they hiding at, although they think they can hide in these, isolated and secluded parts of the world like New Zealand and other places and build under the ground and build in these rocks, these caves, these clefts, they're not going to be able to escape judgment. It says what? Neither anything hid that should not be known and come abroad. Right. So those hunters, we coming to get them. If it be our lot, to partake in the hunting, okay? We coming to hunt them out of every cleft, every rock, every bunker, and not just them, but the other, 1%ers of these other nations that think they're going to escape too, because all these nations are going into captivity and slavery because they all had a part and they all had a hand in our captivity, our slavery, okay? And if they refuse, they're going to be off with the sword as well, okay? This is all biblical prophecy, so they can't hide. And no matter how they try to fortify their bunkers by putting in fiery moats and self-collapsible, houses, they can't hide from this judgment, okay? It's just going to make it all the more, wow when we catch them and we, bring them into slavery and bring them into captivity, okay? To build up all this land that's going to get wasted through World War III, Armageddon, okay? They're going to have a lot of work to do for those first 1,000 years, all right? So, they ain't getting away with none of this stuff. They just being, deceived by their own, heart, their own mind, okay? Be not deceived. Galatians 6 and 7. It says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So they got to get it, man. Whatever they sowed, they got to reap. They went and put us into captivity, they got to get it too. They unalive us with the sword, they're going to be unalive as well, because you're going to have those that resist, okay? And they're going, pursuant to St. Luke 19 and 27, what does it say? St. Luke 19, and I believe this is Yahweh Shah speaking, verse 27. It says, but those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. So they don't want to get down. They're going to be brought before Yahushua, and we're going to slay them right before him, okay? So ain't no escaping this judgment, man. they gonna go into captivity, and if they refuse to serve, they gonna what? Be off, and then they gonna come back, and then they gonna serve, okay? They gonna come back, all right? They ain't gonna be able to escape this judgment, man. All right, so that's all I wanted to bring out, because, you know, they trying to, you know, upgrade these bunkers and with, you know, self-defense mechanisms now. A rotating fire remote, okay, to keep people out. Nah, it's to keep you preserved, because you ain't coming out until you go into captivity, slavery. All right? So let's go ahead and close in 1 Peter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? So, you know, stay on point, because we in these days, you know, well, hey, if you fall off, you easy target, you easy prey for him, all right? So be sober, be vigilant all the way up until the end, all right? Pray that the Most High don't remove the Holy Spirit from off you, so you can receive, you know, salvation and deliverance, all right? So with that being said, I pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the good Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom. Peace.